Seanad O'Donnell.
Leader, I was going to call in support of Senator Black and Bacic's call for a debate around traveller ethnicity. I think that's a very critical and much needed one for all of the reasons outlined, and I think it's something that I'd return to in the coming period in the hope that we will have the Minister in and we will have that debate for all of the very reasons outlined eloquently by the previous speakers on this subject. But given the week that has been in it, I do think it's important that a number of senators have reflected on remembrance, and that's important and that's right, and we should do precisely that. I think we are in a climate of great maturity around this issue, north and south, and indeed between Britain and Ireland, in terms of how we approach this issue. I'm very proud that Republican leaders have played a key role in reconciliation and engagement with those from a British and Unionist tradition on this island who have such a stake in the issue of remembrance, particularly around the First World War. So I think we as a Chamber should look at those issues and play a positive role in how we contribute positively to those themes and that issue. I would urge caution, though, that remembrance is a very complex issue, that there still pertains many issues and much hurt in relation to these matters. So, if it was singularly around the tragic and unnecessary, I would contend, slaughter of the First World War, then I think that would be pretty straightforward. But of course, as I say, the issues are much more complex than that. And the legacy of the British Army and the British presence in this country is still felt very acutely and very rawly today. So when we do approach these themes, I do think we can have the discussions, and we should have the discussions, but I do think it needs to be broader than just those issues alone. I think we need to talk about the legacy of conflict that pertains right up until today, the issues of justice and truth recovery, which currently are being hindered by a British government who seek to use the veto of national security, and that includes on matters like Dublin and Monaghan bombings, which the British Army and their intelligence services were up to their neck in. So let's have that debate. Let's remember and let's reflect responsibly on the loss to this island. I think it is completely, there's a huge sense of self-loathing when on one hand you call for the Minister to erect memorials to British soldiers, but at the same time Moore Street lies in wreck and ruin. We need to take a universal approach to this. We need to take an inclusive approach to this, and of course we need to take an approach that reflects all traditions and all experiences.